As we see alt season potentially start to take off here, we have a couple of altcoins that, in my opinion, I don't believe that you can afford to miss just because they have such insanely high potential. So I want to go through all of them today, and then we can talk about kind of some of the pros and cons of each of them individually. So let's go on ahead and we'll dive right in. We got no time to waste, so let's just jump right into it. First off, you can see here, we've got the CoinGecko alts to watch chart here. And we can see we've got Sui, Bonk, Caspa, and Pudgy Penguins. We'll talk about each of them individually. I want to do kind of a decent mix between meme coins as well as more of the utility types of coins. We've seen, the utility in Sui and Caspa be very, very strong for the utility coins. And then recently, Bonk and Pudgy Penguins have had a decent run, and I think they've got potentially a much, much larger upside. So we'll talk about all of them individually. You can see here for the market cap, Sui is the largest one that we're talking about here. Bonk, Caspa, and Pudgy Penguins all very, very similar in terms of market cap. You can actually see number 53, 54, and 55 in terms of market cap size within the crypto space. So pretty interesting there. But first off, we'll start with Sui. Sui is one that has done absolutely unbelievably well over the past probably 18 to 24 months. It's shown a lot of potential, it's shown a lot of success, and we're looking essentially to see Sui continue to kind of execute on that. So obviously the market cap, and it is the 15th largest, and the market cap is close to 14 billion. So it definitely is quite a large project, but it has shown that it's got the potential, and we could see it continue to run to new highs. When we get into alt season, we could see it actually do some pretty wild stuff just because we've seen it have such success up until this point. Bonk is similar to Sui in the sense that it's got a lot of upcoming potential. We've seen Pump.Fund. Pump.Fund has just absolutely kind of run the market in the Solana ecosystem for the past little while. Well, Bonk has started to kind of catch up and compete with Pump.Fund. They've been doing this like Bonk Launchpad, and so they're essentially doing like their Pump.Fund type of competitor here. It's done quite well so far, but we really haven't seen it have that explosive growth that we have seen from many different Pump.Fund tokens. And so I do think that Bonk itself could have quite a decent run up if the Bonk ecosystem continues to run. Similarly to if Pump.Fund had their token while all of their tokens were crushing it, I think the Pump.Fund token would have smashed. So I do think that there could be some very, very large upside potential here for Bonk because of the memes potentially heating back up and them now having a really successful launchpad to compete with Pump.Fund. So we'll really have to watch this closely. Next one, we do have Caspa. Caspa is also a utility coin. It actually uses a new type of system. If you are familiar with crypto, you're probably familiar with blockchains. Well, Caspa actually uses a different type of system. It's not a blockchain, but it's called a block DAG. And the block DAG essentially allows you to produce multiple blocks at once without having any issues like within a blockchain. With a blockchain, you can only produce one next block, and so it does have some capacity issues. Caspa is looking to fix that. It also does do proof of work, so it's very similar, draws a similar Bitcoin type of comparisons. A lot of people like to say that Caspa could be like a Bitcoin 2.0. Now, of course, we'll have to see, time will tell, but if this does even have a little bit of validity to it, we could see the market cap absolutely explode from here. And so I do think that this could be a really, really strong potential upside token play here with Caspa. Next, we have Pudgy Penguins. Pudgy Penguins here, again, doing quite well. We haven't seen NFTs really come back quite yet, but if they do come back, I imagine that we'll see some of the tokens associated with them just absolutely rocket. Pudgy Penguins has been kind of the NFT of the past probably 2 years at this point. So if we see NFTs make another run, I do think we could see Pudgy Penguins do very, very well. And of course, with that, I think their token could do quite well also. So those are four of the top alts to watch in my opinion. I think each of those four could see some absolutely earth-shattering gains. We'll have to see, of course, for sure. Nobody knows what the future holds. But the last one that I want to talk about, you could see kind of the two themes here is both memes and utility. The last one that I want to talk about actually has a pretty nice split of both memes as well as utility, and that is Bitcoin Hyper. So Bitcoin Hyper is actually the first Bitcoin layer 2 chain. And this is interesting because they're essentially looking to do scalability scalability and speed for Bitcoin both together. Of course, the issue with Bitcoin thus far has been it's really slow and it's very limited in terms of the transactions that can go through. Now, of course, this is a pre-sale. Pre-sales are kind of a double-edged sword in the sense that the price that we are seeing here is not actually vetted by the market. Now, this could be a good thing and this could be a bad thing. If the market really finds extreme demand for this token and the token really delivers on a lot of this type of stuff, you're going to be getting an absolute steal at just over 1 cent per hyper token. Now, if the market doesn't deem it valuable now, then maybe we could potentially be overpaying. That is kind of the risk that you take with a pre-sale. It's high risk, but it also can be incredibly high reward. And recently we have seen pre-sales do quite well. I mean, Salaxy, which is essentially a Solana layer 2, that did like a 7x, I believe, in the first, or I think it did actually a 2x in the first 24 hours. Absolutely rocketed. So it did very, very well. And it also raised like $66 million. We can see here on Bitcoin Hyper, only raising about $5.5 million so far. So there is potentially some massive upside to come here. And we can also see very, very close to the price rising and hitting that next level. We also have price rising in 2 hours, 1 minute and 18 seconds, or I guess 15 seconds now. This is something that of course will continue to stack over time, and the price here will continue to go up. So if you are looking to get in at a discount, you do need to be early. This is kind of the way that they reward their early holders. They also do have 186% annual staking rewards going on right now. The staking is really important. If you essentially buy, you can immediately stake, and this does get you more Bitcoin Hyper, so you can kind of compound your bags a little bit there if you are interested in looking to do that. So you can see here they kind of describe how it's going to work specifically, but the most important thing I want to talk about here is the tokenomics. You've got 25% to the treasury, 20% to marketing, 15% to rewards, 10% to listings, and then 30% to development. So a lot of different stuff going on here, which I think is quite interesting and looks pretty good to me. So we'll have to see kind of how this goes over time. Also, you can look here, there's the staking tab. You can see exactly kind of what the staking tab would look like and how it actually ends up working out. So overall, I think it's a really, really interesting project and a really interesting token. Like I said, I do think it kind of meshes both utility as well as memes pretty nicely. And so I think we could see that potentially do pretty well. So if you are interested, of course, we do have the links to everything in the description below if you want to take a closer look and potentially even get into some Bitcoin Hyper and see how it goes. Overall, hopefully you found the information in the video useful. Also, comments, questions, anything like that, just drop those in the comment section below. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.